Van Leyden, what is the next Doctor Who collection set?
Hello, Space Control. Will you please clear us for re-entry?
Van Leyden, what is the next collection set?
Space Control, we are not cleared for re-entry.
Right, cut it open. Twang! Season 7 is on Blu-ray, not just Spearhead from Space, but Doctor Who and the Silurians, Ambassadors of Death, and Inferno.
Dare I say, one of the best Doctor Who seasons of all time.
My favourite, so
It's,
I'll die on that hill.
yeah, no fighting me for there.
I'm not gonna fight,
This
I'll happily say.
is a wonderful season, and it is wonderful seeing this gorgeous artwork by Lee Binding and knowing that 7 discs, rather fitting number there, are
Hmm.
coming our way somewhere next year, featuring some new behind the sofas, 4 new documentaries, another in conversation, another escape room, and some movie length omnibus editions, which are new ones, I'm pretty sure, because
Yeah.
these none of these stories did have a omnibus back in the day. But it's something that I think they must have seen them going down well when they
Mhm.
were re-releasing the old omnibuses. So they thought, you know what, we'll start making our own ones in that style, like they
I,
did with Silver Nemesis.
I think Spearhead from Space had an omnibus version on VHS.
Was
Uh,
it, yeah, was it anything cut out or was it
I
just the
think
cliffhangers
it
stitched?
was just the cliffhangers, I believe. I think that was
Yeah,
the thing with the early VHS releases.
yeah, they did it with a few of them, didn't they?
Um,
Whereas here, this seems like it's probably going to be a slightly cut down version,
I imagine so.
just to make it a bit more pacey and also to give you something a bit different to watch.
Hmm. Because there's no special editions, no updated effects with this set.
Yeah. Which I suppose they went all out for 25,
Yeah.
giving every single story some updated special effects. So you can sort of see why they'd saved their money a bit here.
I mean, I think with
Also,
season 7, the thing what's important about this is the restoration
yeah,
of it.
there's other things to put that money into there, isn't there? Because
Yes.
even like the special editions of some of those DVDs still looked a bit ropey.
Hmm.
Like they're pretty strong, but when you compare it to the sort of visuals we get now with the collection, they are quite far behind. So definitely in need of an update. The colorizations need a bit more work. So
Yeah, because Ambassadors was quite late, being 2012. Then Spearhead got, not Spearhead, Inferno got a special edition. Then I think Silurians was released early 2008, so that's a long time
yeah,
for it to get updated, really.
yeah, and I think Silurians is probably the one in the most need of it.
Yes.
Looking at that, I mean, sadly, we can't judge that yet
The
because
visuals,
no
yeah.
trailer, which
Yeah.
is a big talking point for this release. It almost the fact that there's no trailer seems to have overshadowed a lot of the conversation around this
Yeah.
season at the moment.
Because you keep refreshing YouTube going, please, please be there, please be there.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, we knew they'd be cutting back, but we didn't think they'd be cutting them completely. But I was
Yeah.
just expecting, you know, a
It's season
visuals
25.
from yeah, just a few clips from the season and some text saying about all these new special features, a little look at the special features, and then bada bing, bada boom. But no, nothing. We've just got a little announcement article, which gives us at least some details.
Should we dive into that article and have a look at some of the new special features?
Yeah, let's go for it. Shall we start with the 4 new documentaries?
Yeah, let's do that.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, splendid chap, profile of beloved Brigadier actor Nicholas Courtney. I think,
Mm.
yeah, it's funny looking back. I don't think he's had many documentaries done on him.
Well, you had this wonderful interview on More Than 30 Years in the TARDIS. I think that's the
Mm.
closest you got to sort of, I guess, an in conversation with Nick Courtney. Because I think it's at
Yeah.
his home and Tom Baker pops up, which is all very wholesome.
Mm.
And I think this is the special feature that leaked this set because people said there's a Nick Courtney documentary, and you're like, well, it's going to be on this set. So I think that's how
Yeah.
we knew. this set was in the works. And yeah, it's great to celebrate Nicholas Corney because he's such a prolific figure in classic Doctor Who. You know that there are many Doctors, but there is only one Brigadier.
Mm. Ever constant,
Yeah.
ever reliable. Yeah. Looking for Mac, which is about Malcolm Hulk. Presumably that's a Toby Haydock one. He
Yes, Chris
loves.
Chapman's said that this is the most politically charged feature, which makes
Oh,
complete sense.
yeah, no surprise
Malcolm
there.
Hulk.
Yeah, and I feel like that'll be another emotional one because
Mm,
these ones usually are.
yeah.
And yeah, I think that's going to be a fascinating, look into this fascinating man, really, who we've got a lot of snippets on, mostly stuff that Terence has said.
Mhm.
I think so, yeah, it'd be interesting diving deep into that. Uh, Terror of the Suburbs, looking at when Doctor Who came down to Earth. So probably more of a general look at season 7 overall. Probably,
Yeah,
you
it'd be
know,
like your flight through eternity and Hiss the Future, I think, was for season 24 one, I think, or something
mm,
like that.
I'm sure we'll get that archive footage of Derek Sherwin going, oh, I wanted to bring it down to Earth and make it like Quatermass. Really get you behind that sofa and shake. The one.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
which is true because obviously the state of the show was in season 6. This was such a sharp rejuvenation of the show. It's the first proper regeneration of the show, really.
Mm. Yeah, it wasn't just, oh, Doctor Who's in colour now. It was a completely new show, really.
Like you look at Spared from Space and you've got the blood of like the unit soldier on the Land Rover windscreen. You're like, it's hard hitting, and it's like, yeah, that's perfect for kids. Like it
Yeah.
was really pushing what it could do.
And you've also got the assistant now as a more grown up woman in Liz
Hmm.
Shaw, this scientist. And, you've also got the Brigadier there as well as a more mature figure versus when you got the second Doctor, Jamie and Zoe, he's got the kids around him, really, hasn't he?
Yeah,
And they're written slightly younger than perhaps they are. They're very much the audience surrogate. Whereas with Liz, you've got a very different kind of character there and the role she plays. And I think that very much shifts a lot of the maturity in the show.
and it makes the world more frightening because
Mm.
you've got these very stern figures like going, "Geez, we're up against it here."
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then we've got Lucky 13, Rockets, Aliens, and Spare Parts. How does science fiction of the day influence Doctor Who? Which, I mean, as mentioned before, I'm sure Quatermass will pop up there
Mm.
because that was very much what was influencing season 7 and that shift. But I wonder if that's going to be a general documentary about what was influencing Doctor Who throughout its life, or if it's just specifically about 1970.
Hmm.
Because it feels like you could get a lot of broad
I feel like you could do one for
topic
each
out of
decade,
this.
really,
Yeah.
especially the 80s with like the Bidmead stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be quite broad or quite specific. That one, we'll see.
Mhm.
Uh, and then, of course, behind the sofa
A
is that.
staple of the
Hmm.
set.
Yeah, all 4 stories are, of course, getting a look in. With Katie Manning, Matthew Waterhouse, Janet Fielding, Sarah Sutton, Sophie Aldred, Toby Haydock, and Jeffrey Beavers and Daisy Ashford, which is, yeah, quite a nice little touch there, those last two.
Yeah, I think that's quite nice. I was sort of hoping for Sean Pertwee in a way,
Hmm.
because we know he's recorded a feature with Matthew Sweet, which is an
Um,
interview which I thought would be on this set, but it probably will be season 11 now.
yeah.
To bulk that set up because I think when it was John Pertwee's 100th birthday, they put out a little video, a little snippet of that interview. So I imagine we'll get the full thing on
Uh,
season 11.
yeah, must be. And I suppose it makes sense for this one to have the John Levine one as well, because this was sort of like the beginnings of Benton in a way. He
Yeah.
obviously was in the invasion, but he was much more in the background there.
Yes.
And then this is when they bring him back in Ambassadors and
Mhm.
what makes him a recurring character.
Yeah.
And then we have the escape room, Will the
Mm.
third Doctor team escape the Room of Doom? I wonder who the third Doctor team will
It's I
contain.
I think it's Sadie Miller, um, Katie Manning, and poss possibly Toby Haydock. I can't remember the original because
Oh,
there is a thing what says each team. So they're
that's
pretty
interesting.
neat.
Hmm. And then, as previously mentioned, the movie-length omnibus editions, Doctor and the Silurians and Inferno. And then exclusive convention footage, HD photo galleries, info text, PDF archive, all the stuff you usually have come to expect from this now that we know is there, but I don't think we ever quite look into.
Yeah, but
As
even there's a whole treasure trove of stuff to discover with those.
yeah, maybe one day we'll get into
Yeah,
that.
we'll have
It's there
plenty
if
to
we
do.
want it. It's nice to
Yeah.
know. Adds things out a bit. And of course, you've got all the old documentaries as well. Some of them are pretty neat ones. I do love a bit of Havoc with Haydock, or Haydock with Havoc.
And I loved the unit one, where it's like the history of like unit stories.
Ah, yeah,
What
the
was stuff
unit years.
the unit years, yeah, because
Yeah. With
season
the
seven,
ambassador's music.
oh, it's great. It's great. I love it because I think season seven was like the first uh sort of classic DVDs I bought. So I've
Uh,
got such fond memories of like the original Inferno DVD. So yeah, this feels like a nice full circle moment of Doctor Who really for me.
nice. Yeah, and I mean, looking at the disc art, or what we can see at the disc art, some
Yeah.
pretty neat stuff there.
It's
I think
going
this is
back
one of the
to
good
the
ones.
yeah, it's going back to the season 12 format of using a character once, even though there's more Pertwee, which is never a bad thing. But you've got
Mm,
monsters, you've got story identities, what was lacking on your season 15s and even
yeah.
20. Quite a few of the recent sets I feel have been really lacking.
Yeah, I think overall the collection is quite hit and miss with its disc art.
Mhm.
Like some of them are really strong, other times it just feels like they've grabbed a random um, you know, photo from the story and gone, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah,
Like the
when
Dalek Invasion of Earth one is a bit of a
season two's
unusual
rough.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah. When you've got these wonderful monsters, use them,
Hmm.
you know.
And yeah, it certainly looks like they're making use of monsters here. Like
Hmm.
that Spearhead from Space Disc is quite a busy one.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
compact.
Yeah. And of course, you got a Silurian there as well, Ambassador, got your Primords.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe a Brigade Leader alongside Section Leader Shaw there on one of the Inferno discs.
You'd hope so.
Yeah. I mean, Inferno is the one that's getting the most of a look in here. 3 discs for that one.
Hmm. I mean, it's going to be nice to watch Doctor and the Silurians on one disc.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
going to
if
be
the two
nice.
what if they have split it across the 2 discs just
Oh,
throwback?
that I do, I'd laugh, but I'd also cry at the same time.
Yeah. Nah, they're all gonna be there. They'll all be
Yeah,
on the same. And then the movie length one will be on the
on the disc.
second disc.
But yeah, have you pre-ordered it?
I have not yet. Are you going to tell me something about
Yes, I am.
saving money
You
if
can
I
save
pre-order?
£11 if you use this code in the description from HMV, and that's 43 quid instead of 54. So an absolute saving.
Yeah,
So
much better. I
go
mean,
for it.
funnily enough, the current price is exactly how many years will have passed since this season,
I think
which will be £1 per year.
when this set leaked on Rare Wave's eBay store, it was 58 quid, and I was like, "Geez, I love season
Oh,
seven, but that's pushing it a bit."
nah. Thankfully, it's still the 55.
So
I
I
mean,
can deal with that.
I mean, how are you feeling about season 7 coming to Blu-ray? Let us know all your thoughts down below. Are you like us? Are you huge fans of the season? Or do you perhaps only like Spearheads and Inferno and aren't a big fan of the other two in this one?
The worst takes ever. The worst takes.
You know who you are.
Love
Thank
you.
you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye
Goodbye,
bye.
everyone.